All right. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another Thursday live stream. Things might look a little bit different here. We switched up our lighting, and it is a whole lot brighter. Actually, I'm using a webcam also instead of the DSLR, so it's a little bit of a different shot. Shouldn't look too different, but it probably looks a little different with the lighting. So bear with us as we kind of hone this in a little bit. So this week, it's going to be a little bit less structured than it was last week. As you might have seen on the thumbnail, this will be pub style. I will put the link in the chat here and pin it to the top. And if any of you guys want to hop on and hang out, you are more than welcome. Let me get this going right now. Think that will do it. All right, so we've got it up there. Let's pin it. All right, so I think I got that right. Yeah, hugs and kisses, Randall and Roger. Yeah, we're just feeling the love here a little bit tonight. Maybe you can see, maybe you can't, but that was my wife with the first comment. That was kind of aimed at her, but you know what? Why not? Well, let's go with it. Cheers to you guys as well. So Randall, what did you say here? Still down in Florida working. Sorry, I can't jump on. Well, Randall, the government doesn't work without you, my friend. So you do what you got to do. If you can hang out a little bit later, cool. If not, totally understand, man. Roger Reese, what's going on, buddy? Then we've got son of a Gunderson visiting family in Lexington, North Carolina. Oh, you know what? I saw your message earlier. For some reason, I assumed it was Lexington, Kentucky. So hope you are enjoying your family down there. Chris Barlow, audio is good, video as well. Thanks, Chris. I think we had to adjust the mic. That was the last thing that we did here before we fired it up. So appreciate the feedback. If at any point it sounds bad or looks bad or something, just chime in, pipe up, don't be shy. So as we kind of open this up and hang on a little bit, I've got a few bottles within the last week or so that I'm going to get into. And, if, hang on a second here. There we go. Number one in our hearts, Top Jimmy. How you doing, bud?
Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you. You all right?
Yeah, everything's good. Yeah, just give a quick heads up. Marty and Roger and I will be jumping on at 8 with a thing
Cool.
with Scott, but I'm sure that we will be bouncing back here when we're done if you're still rolling. So
yeah, are you guys down in where is that at?
It's a
Is that at
virtual.
Old Glory?
It's one of his
Oh, it's a
Patreon virtual Old Glory
Gotcha.
Zoom virtual tastings. Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, yeah, you guys, bounce back and forth. I noticed there's a few other streams going on as well tonight. So, I'll leave the link up. You guys, hop in and out as you see fit, my friend.
But I love it when you do a pub style, and so I wanted to make sure I jumped on and said hi. And so
absolutely. I'm going to crack something here, and I got a few bottles in the last week that I haven't got into yet, so I'll probably crack a few new things here. The first one that I've got is one that might not look too familiar to you guys.
Whiskey Tree.
It's not familiar to me, and it's actually got some bling there at the top, as you can see. This one comes courtesy of a good friend of the channel, Doc Martinez at Old Fashioned Ways Plus. Don't forget the plus. But he just did his first ever barrel picks, and he did 2 with Whiskey Tree. This one is a Calvados finish. I'm inclined to say Calvados, but I was watching Marty's stream the other night with Nancy Fraley, and she was saying Calvados. So I assume Nancy has the proper pronunciation. So we'll say Calvados. But this is a bourbon aged in Calvados barrels. And then he did another one, which I got a sample of, and it's a cognac finish bourbon. So again, these were Doc's first ever barrel picks. So make sure you guys, support Doc. He's a good friend of not just the channel, but Whiskey Tube in general. One of the more generous guys that you'll see around, always doing giveaways, and just a real good dude. So congratulations, Doc, on your first ever barrel pick. We're going to get into this sucker. And at first I kind of was a little apprehensive as to why he's got the beads on this, kind of a Mardi Gras theme. I guess this whiskey tree is down in Louisiana. Am I right? So kind of a Mardi Gras type thing. Solid pop there. All right, I can smell this sucker all the way over here. Got a nice smell to it. That's got to be that Calvados. So let's give this a try, and I'll leave this bottle up if you want to take a look at it. I don't know if Doc sold out of these yet, but if you watch his channel, I'm sure you can find an update. I saw he posted a video the other day where he was actually picking up all of the cases, and it looked just like there was a zillion of them. So I'd be surprised if there's not at least some left if you're interested in checking these out. So cheers, everyone. We've got, hey, Katie, how you doing? We've got Miracle Martinez. What's going on? Rick Richardson, your thoughts on the new Knob Creek Blenders 10-year at 106 proof for $44? I have not tried it yet. I did watch a review that was put out by Artfully Bourbon within the last couple of weeks. The guys that we had on as guests last week, they seem to make it sound like it's really sweet. But when I see 10 years, 106 proof at $44, I'm inclined to pick that up without too much apprehension.
Yeah,
It sounds
it's absolutely worth it at MSRP, maybe even a little better than MSRP. It's a really solid, solid bottle.
Yeah. Have you seen that one floating around, Toby?
Yeah, I've got a couple of them. I got one, and after I opened it, I went back and got a backup. Now, I'm not seeing them anymore, but I think both the Blenders Edition and the Elijah Craig 15 are supposed to be somewhat more available. So I think that everybody will probably have the opportunity to grab.
I would think, I mean, it sounded like that one was going to be readily available. If it was going to be limited, I would have expected a different price tag. Just haven't seen it around here yet, or if it is around here, none of the stores have been excited enough to post about it. But you mentioned the Elijah Craig 15, and that was the one that I did pick up on. I think it was picked up Thursday or Friday of last week, and I was surprised as heck to find out that they had dropped here in Michigan, because usually we're kind of late to the party. We don't get the big releases right away. We're usually 2-3 months down the road, and then they're really scarce. But it does seem like within a couple of day range that a whole bunch of the local shops posted up the Elijah Craig 15 at MSRP, no less. So so that was cool. Probably pop this one here second. But yeah, this one is really rich. It's got a dense feel to it. I don't think I've had too many Calvados finish bourbons. The one that sticks in my head is the one that everyone was talking about the other night, that Murray Hill batch 5, I think, from a couple of years ago, and that one was outstanding. This one's not bad on the nose and the initial taste. I dig it. So good job, Doc. All right, and Eric's got his link posted. Thanks, Eric. Yeah, if you're not subscribed to Doc Martinez, go check him out. This dude streams pretty frequently, huge with the giveaways, always a fun time. And I'll say this about Doc. I had no idea who he was when I started my channel a few years ago. And I kind of got invited to do this, Texas bourbon tournament, I guess, if you will. and he's down in Texas, as it turns out. But I kind of got to know him through that, and just one of the most generous people around. But also in talking with him or texting him or whatever, this dude is just always in a good mood, always happy. It's just there's not enough people like that, and I'm certainly not one of them. Roger Dodger.
Hi guys.
How you doing? How you doing, man?
Hey, Roger, my buddy.
Yay! I think I heard Toby say earlier we can't stay on long, but it's too bad. I would love to. Tonight's a good night for me just to hang out and shoot the shit.
Well, just know, Tom, if you go long enough, you'll get myself and Roger and certainly Marty back, and we'll be well oiled. So,
You will.
Nice. Is it open for all of his Patreon?
yes, it's a sign up thing. Roger's
Okay.
more familiar with it. This is actually my first one, but
Yeah, this might be like my fifth one maybe that I've done with Scott. I think he opens it up to like maybe 25 people that sign up. It's like, $40 or 40, whatever it is, $45. He sends you 5 samples. He'll have somebody from Old Glory on. And then we don't know what any of the samples are, so we just kind of go through. It's kind of like a pour guess.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I know that I've seen the notifications in passing, but I just didn't really pay close enough attention. For some reason, I thought Scott was headed down there to do a pick, and that's what was going on. But I stand corrected.
Yeah.
So anyhow, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
The Old Glory stuff that I've had, I've really enjoyed. So
yeah,
I'm sure there'll be good stuff in that sample plate.
Roger, what are you sipping on?
I've not poured anything yet. I was kind of working till the last minute.
I got a control pour going, but nothing. Just 100 proofer.
Yeah.
What you got there, Toby?
This year for the first time ever, I'd never bought these before, but I bought the Bond and Lillard, and I bought the Saffel. And
Okay.
The Bond and Lillard's 100 proof, and it's just a solid 100 proof pour. I probably would never buy it again, but it's not offensive in any way. And then
Is that Wild Turkey also?
Yeah, these are both turkey.
Okay.
The Saffel is 107 proof, and this is pretty delicious.
Yeah.
And it's a proof point that's very comfortable. But just for those who don't know, McBrayer, the original W.H. McBrayer, helped Bond, Lillard, and Saffel into the whiskey business back in the 19th century. So that was part of it too for me. It was just these are folks that the original judge helped into business. And I just wanted to try them because I'd passed on them for years. Anyway, so I'm not disappointed. I bought the Bond and Lillard, but I wouldn't buy it again. The Saffel, that may be something that I keep around. So
yeah, that one gets a good bit of love. Now that's the Saffel I've seen around. I want to say it's about $50-$60 for a 375.
Yeah, ish.
The other one I've never seen, to be honest with you. But yeah, that Saffel, that's one I maybe I'll have to grab next time I see it.
Yeah.
What's going on, Bourbon Lover?
Tom, which I didn't hear. You said that you had a couple of new, and I'll probably miss your opinions. But what are you pulling out for
the
tonight?
first one that I cracked here, Roger, was this whiskey tree pick from Doc Martinez, old-fashioned raised. I don't know if you got that one. This is the Calvados finish. And it's a hitter. Then I've got the Elijah Craig 15, which I haven't opened yet. I did get the walleye fisherman's patch, which I was, as soon as I heard about it, I'm like, oh, I got to try that. And sure enough, they actually had it on their site. So I grabbed one. And then I I got the Silver Springs, but this is the Mash and Journey one, not the one from the Whiskey Friends. So I don't know if I'll get to that one or not. We'll kind of see how things go. But yeah, for
I
right
haven't
now, I'm
gotten
sipping
mine
on
yet.
the. Yeah, it just it showed up without any tracking. They had those
Well,
issues.
I've got the tracking. I just,
Oh,
it switched from UPS to FedEx. It's just not here yet.
oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't hear any. Mine came through FedEx, and I had no idea until the FedEx guy showed up at my office.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, speaking of which, I've been meaning to text you this. If by some chance, you had, a good buddy that for some reason needed to send you something, that was in a glass bottle and that type of thing, do you prefer that it come to your office rather than your home? Because I know.
Here's what I'll say. If it's something I have to sign for, it's usually easier for me to do it at my office.
Okay.
If it's something that no one has to sign for, I probably just have it sent to my house.
Okay, then. Well, we're all good
It
then.
just seems to work easiest that way.
Right.
Randall says, I got my FedEx tracking 2 days after it arrived. Yeah, real helpful at that point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I wasn't complaining. It's just, just showed up without me having any idea that FedEx was coming. So
it's okay to get frustrated. I mean, I know, Tom, that you're very close to running out of whiskey, and so you're desperately waiting on those packages to arrive. So
yeah, you and me both. Waiting on things and doing those. Wow, yeah, this one from Doc is it's really bold. I'm almost to the point where I might put a drop of water or something in it to see if it opens it up a little.
Really?
It's kind of punching me right in the gut.
Nice.
A lot of good flavors like buttery orange, but like with the oak backbone, maybe some chocolate caramel type notes. But yeah, this is I dig it. So good job, Doc. Again, the other one was a cognac finish, which again I got a sample of. I'll try this one too.
Hey,
so
Tom,
cheers
nice
again to
job
you.
on Hello Again Whiskey Friends last week. That was a great episode, and you got a badass thumbnail, buddy. I mean, I would be asking Jeff for a copy of that. I'd be blowing it up and framing it.
You know what's interesting is I have actually been in touch with Jeff. Jeff has kind of gotten a really good grasp on how to use AI to generate those thumbnails and really put some top-notch ones together. And so I figured, well, maybe that's easy to do. So I started playing around with it. It's not. If you have no idea how Chat GPT or these things work, I'm just going on there like typing in a sentence like make this, and it's you only get out of it what you put into it. So I was like, out of curiosity, Jeff, how did you do this? So he sent me like the code, and it was like 4 pages of text. Like, so he's really putting some effort into learning how
I thought the whole thing was cool where the entire audience was all bourbon jerks.
They were all jerks.
Yeah, that's the thing that got me. It was like, it's not, that hard to just have you, slamming, the ball, but to get the entire audience as bourbon jerks,
I thought that was cool as heck. To be honest, I do have it saved. I sent my brothers. We all got a kick out of that one.
And it's not even that they were just bourbon jerks. They were all versions of your bourbon jerk from your logo. It's awesome.
Yeah, Jeff's he's talented with the AI, and if you think it's easy to mess around with that and have good results, play around with it for a little bit. I just started playing around with some of these things, and I can maybe piece together a halfway decent, like regular thumbnail. But to do some of the creative stuff like him, definitely not there yet. But we'll play around with it. Eric says I had 5 packages waiting for me when I arrived here. Still Austin, Ricky Bobby Rye is supposed to arrive tomorrow. Nice having family in North Carolina. Shared pour and seal box don't ship to Tennessee. we get shared pour here in Michigan. We don't get seal box. So yeah, I can kind of relate there. Is Ricky Bobby, who's still lost the pick, is that Bad Axe? Anyone know?
I don't know that.
Whiskey notes. What's going on, Marty? What is happening here? Just nonsense, generally speaking. You know how it goes. Bad Axe. Okay, that makes sense. All right. Bad Axe, yes. Yeah, does he do quite a few picks? I'm not in his Patreon group. I know he's out there in California, so he probably has access to some different stuff.
Tom, is that that new walleye run? Is that a rye or is that a single malt?
Malted rye. I think the only difference, Roger, is that it's actually a blend of New Holland stuff and Journeyman stuff, and then it's finished in brandy and toasted oak barrels. So it does have a finishing component to it as well. So I'm curious to see how that partnership between the two Michigan distilleries is going to work out. It sounds like it's going to be interesting. So
yeah,
I'll give that one a pop as well. And like I said, that one's actually on their site. When you purchase from their site, there's a little bit of a markup. Like I think some of my buddies got these at the distillery. If you get them on their site, it's a little bit more expensive, but not a ton. I mean, you're not going to find it at the store most likely, so you're paying for the convenience, and then obviously you got to get it shipped. But speaking of places that ship, we just noticed this the other day, Toby, that McBrayer is changing their vendor.
Yeah, so
and
I got to spend about 6 hours with Bill on Tuesday. We were actually relocating a barrel from Wilderness Trail to Bardstown Bourbon Company. And we were talking a lot about it. I mean, his shipping was already good, but now, I mean, it's phenomenal. And it's coming out of Washington, D.C., but I mean, basically it breaks down to like $5 a bottle. It's crazy.
Well, I just noticed that when I queued it up, it looks like Michigan is now in play. So that I like that.
So it used to be 40 out of 50 states. Now it's 48 or 49 out of 50
So it's
states.
most of them.
So a lot of the key states that were missing before, like Michigan, Tennessee, they're all in now. So everybody's going to be able to get it, and they're going to be able to get it, whether it's just his stuff or our picks coming up. It's going to be easy access. So.
Yeah, so I'm excited to be able to get those instead of having to go through back channels.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's exciting. Plus, they've got a lot of stuff. I mean, their lineup is pretty extensive as far as just their core range.
Yeah.
So,
Toby, do you remember when that 1776 release, was that going to hit in May or is that going to be June?
Right now he's saying like late May, but I think realistically it's probably going to be June.
Yeah,
I was thinking 4th of July. No.
Well, that's what it's for. It's a 250th centennial bottle.
Right.
One of the things that it's a Judge bottle, but he's changed the label from black to red, white, and blue.
Right.
So initially he wasn't going to box it because he wanted people to see how beautiful,
just to see the bottle itself,
the centennial or whatever you call it at 250, how beautiful it was. But then the packager came back and said, look, we can do a box. It won't be a really fancy Judge box, but it'll be a box. So anyway, so now I think he's at least considering possibly putting it in some sort of box. But anyway, I think we should realistically, think about early June for that. But yeah,
well, definitely
that's a one of a kind. It's there's only 1,776 bottles. So pretty cool.
Now, do we have an idea when the picks that we did will be out?
Yeah, so I think the Judge and the Cedarbrook get bottled next week, and I think we're looking at the end of the month for our stuff. And so I'll be reaching out to our whiskey whiskey family, or probably Trey Boyd will be, and then it's, I don't want to say too much right now. We'll wait because this is your stream, and we'll do that at another time when I can speak to things more confidently. But it looks like
Pretty
things are
soon.
really, really going to explode for McBrayer in the state of Tennessee.
Awesome.
Adding to the state of Kentucky. Yeah.
Well, yeah, Bill's been a great friend to have to a lot of us. So yeah, I'm excited for him and excited for us to be able to get this stuff.
He's just a great dude, and I just coincidentally I found out I was hanging with him on Tuesday, and we chatted all day long, but he forgot to tell me that he was going to be in Lexington today, doing a tasting at Justin's House of Bourbon, and I found out from Justin's yesterday, and so I stopped by today just to say hi again and see his dad because we hadn't seen his dad since the live stream, and
Cool.
just a great afternoon. Me and a buddy went over there, and I got to introduce my buddy to Bill and his dad. Just a great time.
That's awesome. That's cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys are going to be hanging with Scott here.
Yeah,
shortly.
I'm gonna jump off and jump over there.
And
me too.
before you do, I wanted to mention that they do have the Mash and Journey release tomorrow, which is the 2 Traverse City picks.
That's right.
It's Traverse City. It's not Traverse City, Jason.
Yeah.
It's Traverse City, Michigan. Traverse City Whiskey Company. We've got 2 high-aged whiskeys. I think the bourbon's 10 years, the whiskey's 11. And this is the one that we met up with Scott and his wife. My wife and I actually helped out on the pick. And what's really interesting, especially with the rye, is that we found some that we really liked, but the girls just kept on, pushing Chris, one of the owners, to find us something a little better. And I think I'll be surprised if we didn't get the oldest, barrel in the rick house.
Nice.
Nice.
Those are going to be cool releases. I can't wait to get those, and I can't wait for other people to try them. So I told Scott I'd make sure to mention it on the stream. So if you're on the fence about these 2 Traverse City drops tomorrow, strongly consider them. It's really high-aged stuff, aged up in the wild climate of Traverse City, Michigan, where it goes from, I don't know, -10 to 90 degrees every 6 months. It's a wild climate fluctuation, and these are some killer barrels. So
one might say that temperatures traverse quite a bit, right?
You could. Well done.
All right, we'll catch you later.
All right, well, I can't. We'll be back as soon as we can. I can't wait to hear what you think about the Elijah Craig 15. So see you in a bit.
All right, guys. All right, now that those guys are gone, I'm just smelling this Elijah Craig 15, and I'm telling you what, it smells amazing. It is just like the most pleasant, like buttercream type vibe, buttercream and oak. And with the Elijah Craig, it does seem like they're mostly skewed towards like the bold side. Like the Elijah Craig barrel proofs to me, like they come off, bold and like they're gonna smack you in the mouth. This one doesn't. It definitely feels a little bit more rounded, a little bit more maybe balanced, but it's got a real nice nose on this one. So cheers, guys, if you're still hanging out with us. See a few more names popping up here. We got Big Vic. Cheers, y'all. Marty sucks. Well, he's here, so we'll stick up for him. Marty doesn't suck. Hey, Big Vic, sorry. No, I think Vic is going to be streaming at some point this evening as well. So, if you're already bouncing around between my channel and Scott's channel and Bourbon and Balls and Big Vic, check out Big Vic's stream as well. Cheers, Vic. All right, down the hatch with the Elijah Craig 15-year. All right, on the front of the palate, it's really light. Mid palate, it opens up a little bit. Definitely getting some nice oak, some more like the vanilla caramels. The finish, at least on the first sip, is a little light. And this one is 108 proof. Now, you know, if you're familiar with the Elijah Craig 18, that one has been one that I've really never been a fan of. I mean, it's got the high age statement, obviously, but they've proofed it down to 90 proof, and it just kind of tastes, to me, kind of watery, kind of bland, just kind of lackluster. So when they announced the 15, not quite as old, obviously, but the proof was that up to 108. I thought, okay, well, that's going to be something that I'd like to get my hands on. You know, not quite up in terms of the firepower of the Elijah Craig barrel proofs, but still a respectable 108. So let's give this one another sip. All right, so the finish does build a little bit, but it's definitely not what I would call a long finish. I'm not getting like a, you know, the Kentucky hug here, but it is very pleasant. It does feel refined, balanced, nice. You know, if you like the traditional like oak, vanilla, caramel type vibes, those are going to be things that you're going to find in the 15 here. So it's good. You know, I'm curious to see the more I sip it if it opens up a little bit. But first impression is maybe not as amazing as like, what was it, C923 plus Elijah Craig barrel proof, but definitely way better than the Elijah Craig 18, at least in my opinion. Let's see. James Cole, what's going on? How are you? Welcome to the live stream. James, one of our newer members, so good to see you hanging out here. If you're sipping, let us know what you're sipping in the comments. James, and good to have you here. Anyone else sipping tonight? If so, let me know what you're sipping on. Yeah, this one I dig it. I'll reserve my final verdict here for a few more sips, but initial impressions it's pretty darn good. If that finish would build a little bit on the back end, I think, you know, I would score it a bit higher. It's definitely very nice. All right, Penelope Rio. That's the one that's is it honey and amberana finish? Sweeter, right? What do you think of that one, James? I've only tried that one. Maybe I haven't tried that one. I know I tried the Havana, and that one was a little bit too sweet for me, which I think was rum and maple, if I'm not mistaken. Dark Arts Blunt Blend, pretty good. All right, I like that they called it a blunt blend. Okay, so does it taste more like a blunt than a cigar? I mean, all right, James says, I like it a lot better than Havana. Yeah, Havana was overly sweet, but I mean, from the sounds of things, it sounds like the Rio would be even sweeter, no? Express is in the house. Yes, he is. Holding our country together. Cheers to you, Randall. All right, so yeah, this one is definitely building on me. Like the back of the palate, the finish is getting a little bit more interesting, more satisfying, more layered as I sip through it. It's sweet with the Madeira and Armagnac. Oh, that sounds like an interesting combination. Madeira, I think, is underrated. I've had some really good whiskeys with Madeira finishes as part of the component. And I like that kind of like, you know, expressed orange peel or orangish, like burnt orange or burnt blood orange type of note that I kind of get with the Madeira stuff. So that's one that I do think I'd be inclined to check out. Yeah. What's the proof on that one? Is it lower? All right, yeah. So the Elijah Craig 15, I like it. Is it going to blow you away? I don't know that it will. When I first read this one is being announced, I thought that this might be the one to get this year. Kind of like, 2 years ago it was the Russell's Reserve 15 year, and then last year was the Jack Daniel's 14 year. I thought the Elijah Craig 15 year at the 108 proof point might be the one that kind of checked all the boxes for everybody this year. I don't know that it's going to have that same kind of impact. I'm not as immediately blown away like I was when I tried the Russell's 15 or the Jack 14, but it's good. Don't get me wrong. The nicer thing about this bottle is I don't think it's going to be that difficult to find. I found it local, which I hardly ever find anything local, at MSRP, so you won't have to pay secondary, or you shouldn't have to overpay for it. I think there's going to be a good bit of these floating around. It's not good enough to merit overpaying, but definitely check it out. I'll come back to it. I have no problems recommending it at MSRP, but don't to go scrolling through the secondary sites for this one. All right, James Cole says, got my shirt, heading to Gatlinburg tomorrow to do some hunting on the way down, looking for stuff can't get in Indiana. In Tennessee, what I would suggest, and maybe you've had this, maybe you haven't, but Old Glory is one that is up and coming that I don't know is very available or very prevalent outside of Tennessee. I don't think you can get that in Indiana unless I'm mistaken. But check out Old Glory if you're not familiar with that one, James. And hey, represent. Really dark fruit flavor. 113. Okay, I kind of like that proof point. Kind of right where I'm settling into, it seems like lately. Anything upwards of like 120, 125 is kind of hitting me a little hot these days. I'm kind of finding that I'm reaching for something a little bit lower, like closer to the 110, 112, 115 range. So that one sounds real good there, Randall. Silver Spring, sweet rye sipping on. I've got the Mash and Journey pick here that I haven't cracked. So I'm looking forward to that one. I might get to that one this evening. Chris at Silver Springs is the bomb. You need to back that one up. Yeah, just the one I grabbed off the shelf down in Kentucky for I want to say it was like $35. Is a no-brainer. Go ahead and buy one, back it up. And then picks are starting to hit. This one was still inexpensive. I want to say it was like $49. That was from the Mash and Journey. Then Jeff and the Whiskey Friends, Dusty Dan and them, they did their pick. That one sold out right away. So I didn't get my hands on that one, but I would like to see some other channels getting their hands and doing some Silver Springs picks, because for the price point, you can't miss. I have a couple backups on the silver. Okay, so Smart Man. Looking, Old Forge and Company Distillery, Hidden Barn, Neely family. I have had one Hidden Barn. I want to say it was batch 1. And Dusty Dan, if you watch his channel a few years ago, had the batch 1 Hidden Barn. He's tasting it on a stream. He's like, this is terrible. It's the worst thing I've ever had. So I was like, oh, well, I'd like to try that just to see if it's just as bad as he said. And yeah, it was terrible. But I haven't had anything other than batch 1 Hidden Barn. So I don't know how they've evolved or changed from that one. I would assume it's only gotten better from there. So if you find something that's worthwhile, James, let us know. There he is. What's up, buddy? Need to try the Silver Springs. Can do, Danny. I thought I sent you a sample of the other one. Did I not? Sometimes I lose track of what I've sent you and what I haven't. But if there's something that that I've got that you haven't tried, you know the deal. Company is a former Jack distiller. Okay. The Hoff Dusty Pick is one of the packages I got today. Can send a sample if you want. I think someone had an extra bottle that they were going to come up or come off of and share it with me. So I appreciate that, Eric, but I think I'm going to be all set on that one. No, I haven't had it yet. Okay, well, I can get both of these to you, Danny. There he is, Jeffrey Wack. We were just talking about you, buddy. And you know, the killer job that you're doing with the thumbnails and the AI and how you're incorporating that into your channel. It's really been impressive. So we were talking about that. So cheers, Jeff. Good to see you. There he is, Doc. Hey, we were just talking about you. The first crack this evening was your Calvados finished pick. So I enjoyed that. It's very bold, strong flavors, good job. I like that you went with Calvados. That's not, you know, something that's too common. It's unique. I enjoyed it. So I'll definitely be going back to that one. And kind of like how you dressed it up with the Mardi Gras theme there, Doc. So congratulations on your first picks. And if you've got more available for people to get their hands on, go ahead and post it in the chat how people can get their hands on these. I would definitely say that this one is worth your while. And I'll get into this sample on your cognac finish one soon, Doc. So cheers. Good to see you, man. All right. Opinion on Old Jet Brothers by Neely. I have never tried it. I'm not even sure I've heard of that one. Jeffrey Wag. My Silver Springs pick arrived today. Yeah. Anyone else have an opinion on the Jack or the Elijah Craig 15 yet? Can you make me a mod to add the link? Yes, I can. Give me one moment. Been a minute since I did this. Scroll down, find you. Add as moderator, standard. All right, should be golden there, Doc. All right. Danny, haven't seen the 15 anywhere, but then again, haven't had time to hunt. I went to Danny Napa and they had probably 6 of them. I've seen some of the other local shops, you know, the usual places, all kind of post. So I think they're around if you're interested. I know you're a huge Elijah Craig fan, so this is gonna be one that you're gonna pick up no matter what. It's definitely worth it at the MSRP. I was hoping to be blown away on the level of like the Russell's 15 of a couple years ago and the Jack 14 last year. I don't think it's on that level, but it's definitely really good. And I don't think you're going to have to chase it or pay secondary. So there's that. That certainly counts for something too. All right. Docs. Okay, so that's how people get in touch with you to pick up one of your picks, Doc, right? All right, so go ahead and check that out. Support Doc. Again, one of the good guys here at Whiskey Tube, one of the more generous guys you're ever going to find. OHLQ surprise drop yesterday in Ohio, but no EC15. Okay. Has a link for each bottle and bundle, still some left. All right, excellent. So you're handling all of the hand deliveries on your own. That's a big undertaking. All right, so if we can help you out, just let us know, Doc. We'll be happy to do what we can for you. All right, good feedback. Might pass with the price tag if it's not mind-blowing. Danny, I can always give you a sample too. That way you can decide if it's something you want to splurge on. But I have a feeling you'll dig it enough, and it's different enough from the ECBPs that it's interesting and you're going to dig it. Price isn't terrible. Yes, it is. Yeah, it you know, yeah, self-distribution especially for your first pick, can definitely be intimidating. So more power to you for taking that on, buddy. And Doc, do they all come with the bling, or was that just mine because I'm special? All right. Cheers, Doc. Yeah, Danny, if you want to get some samples soon, we've got some swag for you too. So maybe next week we can connect. Yes, they come with bling. Yours is extra shiny because you're special. Well, Doc, you shouldn't have. Yeah, that'll definitely be something that sticks out on the shelf now for sure. I'm starting to grade all my bottle purchases against Silver Springs. No, that's going to be a fail because there's nothing else on the market quite that good at that price. We were talking earlier about that Knob Creek, the Distiller's Edition that you can get for about $44 maybe. That sounds like a bargain, but I've not even tried that, so I couldn't tell you if it's good or if it's crap. But definitely like that price point, right? Got some stuff for you to try. Always a fun time swapping samples with my buddy Danny. Which Silver Springs Sweet Rye? I think that's the only thing they make, right? Under that name, isn't it all the Sweet Rye? I mean, I know that that brand is under, what is it, Hughes or something? And they've got some other products, some different names. But as far as Silver Springs goes, I think it's just the Sweet Rye. If I'm wrong, you can let me know. All right. So yeah, Elijah Craig 15, decent to very good. Not gonna be on the level of those other two hitters that I mentioned. I don't think this one's going to be on nearly as many year-end lists. Brian Newton, is Silver Springs available here in Michigan? I don't think it is, not yet. This one was through Mash and Journey, which was through Shared Pour, so they shipped to Michigan. But as far as is it on the shelves here? No, not yet. The one that I did grab was actually when I was down in Kentucky. So I think you still got a back channel if you're trying to get your hands on one, unless you're in one of the groups that did the picks. And I want to say that these sold out pretty quickly. But Brian Newton, something that is available in Michigan, an all Michigan product even. This is the Walleye Run Fisherman's Batch, which, if you hadn't heard, is actually their first collaboration with Journeyman. So I'm looking forward to getting into this one. And if you've had other walleye runs, you kind of have a certain expectation of the flavor profile. I'm curious to see how the Journeyman distillate factors into the equation here. And then also this one is finished in brandy and toasted oak barrels. So it's got some finishing as well. So this will be the one I probably get into next. And this one is available in Michigan at the New Holland locations and also on their website. So if you're looking for something, need to try more walleye runs. I've only had one. Yeah, their distribution footprint isn't terribly large. I want to say it's just like the immediate area here to Michigan, as far as I understand it, like Michigan, maybe Indiana, Illinois, Ohio. Even if that might even be more than their footprint extends, at least at this point. But they do have their own site where they ship direct to consumer, Doc. So check that out if you're interested. They should have a couple of them, 2-3 different expressions that are available on their site. And this is one that I did purchase through their website. All right. I have a tasting room 5 minutes from my house. The cigar batch is a favorite of mine. Which tasting room are you near, Brian? I've been to the one in Holland a couple of times. And that's the near the Rick House where we did the pick. And then they've got the Knickerbocker, which is like their gigantic outfit up in Grand Rapids, which I've been to a few times as well. Both really cool places. Which is the one that you're near? On the Barrel Whiskey did a review of the American malt. Maybe want one, but it has been sold out. The American single malt, Doc, is that the one you mentioned? You're talking about? There's a 10-year American single malt that is part of their core range. I don't see it on the shelves as much as some of the other stuff, but I have seen it. I think I know a place that has it now. If it's something that you're interested in, hit me up. I can see if I can grab it for you. There is Roger Reese, who was in here earlier, is a huge fan of that one, as is Wise Guy Stew. I've tried it. I think it's really good. It's, even though it's an American single malt, which can be funky, it was still very similar to a lot of the other malted rye in that Walleye Run lineup. It didn't deviate too far from that flavor profile. So I don't know if it's the still that kind of dominates the the notes that come out of those or what, but even though it was an American single malt, it was similar to the malted rye. Just had a little bit more age on it. FedEx lost my box of Silver Springs. Oh, dude. It's funny how those work. When I was, getting everybody their new riff picks, there was a gentleman that had ordered one up in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and it should have taken about 2 days to get there. And it stalled out in Ohio for like 2 weeks. And we were to the point where like, shit, that we're out of luck. We just figured that we got to make either arrangements because this has been snagged by UPS or lost or what have you. But I actually ended up submitting a claim, and they found it, and he got his bottle within a couple of days after that. So even though it was way past the expected delivery time, it did get there. So it got there safe. It wasn't like damaged or anything. So sometimes I guess they just kind of, I don't know, it's stuck to the back of someone's desk. Who knows? I don't know. But don't give up. Don't give up the fight. I have the Saugatuck room. I live in Fenville. I don't think I've been to that. I've been to Saugatuck, but I didn't know that they had a New Holland tasting room out that way. I want to say the place I stopped when we were in Saugatuck was like the Saugatuck Brewing Company or something like that. Does that sound right? Where they do the Neapolitan stout, and we stopped in and had lunch or something when we were out that way a couple of years ago. But I didn't know they had a New Holland outlet over there. I'm guessing it's not as big as the Holland one or the Grand Rapids one. Yeah, Jeff, they'll turn up. Your driver only wanted $20. Oh, really? Well, I think it takes a minute to get to you, generally speaking, because you're down in Texas. Whenever I send something to Randall, Shaman, it takes a while. And I think he must be like in the middle of nowhere, because I think like he's in like some rural route where there's always like a different time window. It's always further out. So when I, from Michigan down to Texas, it's unfortunately it does take a bit. When I ship down to, Roger or somebody down in Ohio, it's usually next day. Texas is usually about a week. I went to a craft festival a couple years ago in Saugatuck. Had a great time. Yeah, it's a really fun, nice area. Like anywhere in West Michigan, Eric, during the summer is just a great place to visit. I mean, the scenery, the pace, the stuff that you can get into. It's just a great place to be. It's not nearly as populated as, the Detroit side of the state. So, I mean, a lot of us that are here in Eastern Michigan will, take weekend trips or vacations over to Western Michigan or even Northern Michigan during the summer because of all of the the beautiful scenery, the water, and just to kind of get away of the the pace and the bustle of Metro Detroit. Danny knows what I'm talking about. We have friends we visit regularly that live a little south of Holland. Yeah, Holland's a beautiful place to visit. I'm trying to think of what's south of Holland. Is that like Niles, or you get too far south of Holland, you're in Indiana. Or actually, maybe if you go south of Holland, is where you run into Journeyman. Saugatuck Brewery, and the tasting room is right. Okay, yeah, that's where we went to Saugatuck Brewing Company. What is your most anticipated bottle release between now and Father's Day? Man, you know what? I was really excited for the Elijah Craig 15. That was at the top of my list. As far as what else is out there that I'm really excited for, I mean, there's picks, Chris, but as far as like big releases that I might actually have a shot at getting, I can't think of too many, to be honest with you. I mean, just simple stuff like that. That Knob Creek 10-year Distillers sounded like a good bottle that I would chase. For under $50. I don't get too wrapped up in chasing like the limited edition stuff or the allocated stuff. I just don't have the time or the patience to hunt. There's sites that I frequent where if something pops up, sometimes I'll get lucky and get something. But by and large, a lot of the picks or a lot of the bottles that I'm anticipating buying in the near future are going to be picks. Either picks that I participated in or picks that other groups participated in that I'm excited to try. So yeah, I mean, besides those, I can't think of any like mainstream releases between now and Father's Day that are really popping into my head. If there's something that you're looking forward to, let me know. Maybe it's something I've heard of, maybe it isn't. I think bottles go by the wagon until they cross the Texas border. My bottles from Houston take forever. Yeah, I mean it's a long ways down there, for one, but yeah, who knows how things are done. Texas is a huge area. Door Township. I don't think I've ever heard of that. Highproof.com is great. I've never heard of that one, Doc. The sites that I will watch are like, Bourbon Outfitter or Shared Pour. There's one called Love Scotch, which will occasionally have decent stuff. And I know they ship here, but those are the main ones. Or, some distilleries that will put stuff out that are direct to consumer, like, the Walleye Run stuff. You just get right from their site. And like we were talking about earlier, McBrayer is now shipping to Michigan. So I'm excited about that. Highproof.com. Now I have to check that out. Doc, do you do Scotch or just bourbon? All right, so I unwrapped this one. Let's give it a little pour. All right, James Cole, have you ever get over to Kalamazoo? Not too frequently. I lived there for 5 years. I went to Western. So this was in the early 90s, but I lived there for a while. We've stayed there on trips a couple of times. I've bored my wife and I think my kids by driving through the Western Michigan campus a couple of times and pointing out landmarks that had significance to me. I don't think they cared that much, but no, it's been a minute since I've been out there, but we always talk about, going through there on the way to somewhere else, or even maybe, spending the night there and doing something. I have heard of Texas Mark. I do follow them on Facebook. So it does look like they get a pretty good stream of picks. If you know who Gary Franchi is, he does picks for, I think it's like North Point or North Shore. There's a bigger store out in West Michigan that he helps do with, he helps them with a lot of their picks. and Gary Franchi has one of the better palates around. And if he pops in, I'll make sure to remind him of I'll make sure to remind you of the name of the store that he does the picks through. But follow them on Facebook as well, and there's always something cool. Tom, are you going to have a duck race tonight? I think that's on a different streaming platform. I use StreamYard, and I think the ducks are on something else. I don't know how to do a duck race. Doc kind of has the market cornered on those for now. K-Brock, North Side in Holland. That's the one. So if you know where that store is, Gary Franchi has his hand in some of their picks from time to time. So I would definitely be inclined to check those out if you're in that area. While I run, excited to hear your thoughts. Ooh. Yeah, I get that peach ring, but there's something else that is, that's got to be the brandy because it is a sweet note. Yeah, it's almost like sweet, syrupy, almost like maple syrup, but it's not maple. It's got to be the brandy. Yeah, it's an interesting nuance to go along with like the traditional like peach or strawberry notes that you get with the walleye distillate. There's Eric. Yeah, World's Worst Bourbon Channel. Definitely check him out. That's Gary Franchi. Yeah, okay, North Side and Holland. Kalamazoo is 3 hours from me. Okay, so you're out in Indiana, right? Yeah, that tracks because you would head through the southwest corner of the state there. Okay. Yeah, this has a real interesting nose on it. Yeah, especially if you like sweeter whiskey, this is that peach ring, but with like an extra layer of sweetness to it. Is he the guy who bought 3 cases of the JD pick today? The person that had your shirt on? Yes, I do believe so, Brian. I think he would have been on that pick, and I think that he was, picking up bottles for a group that he runs. But yeah, that if he had my shirt on, that would have been him for sure. Fort Wayne area, okay. Yeah, one of the real characters here of whiskey too, Gary Franchi. Cheers, Gary. Shout out. All right, on the palate. Let's see how this tastes. Yeah, I would say it's sweeter and more intense, if that makes sense. Like it's really humming on my on the middle of my tongue there. It's really settling in right in the middle, and it is ringing. Like that is intense, and it's not really high proof. I mean, this is only 105, so it's not the proof that's ringing there. That's the flavor profile. Those are just popping. Yeah, that is interesting. I wonder if I'd be able to pick this out of a blind of other walleyes because it is hitting me as the sweetness is dialed up a good couple of notches here. All right. I'm sure you hit handy spot. Okay. Cooper's Craft. All right. Cheers to you on the Cooper's Craft. I've only ever tried that once. That's not something I usually see around here. But I did enjoy it when I tried it. So a good, like a good, daily drinker, as they say, like a lower proof, readily available, pretty inexpensive bottle, right? Yeah, the brandy definitely lends another layer or two of sweetness, and then there's some toasted oak. I don't know that I'm picking up a lot of the toasted, but yeah, that brandy is definitely something that is lending a good bit of influence here. Ooh. All right, so that's a place in Indiana. You know what? I've never really been to Indiana. I mean, I've driven through it, but there was is it Three Floyds Brewing that's in Indiana? James? Is that something you've heard of? Is that in Indiana? I know I've stopped there when I was big into craft beer, and I think we were kind of looping into Chicago. But as far as like really, checking anything else out, I'm not terribly familiar with Indiana. 35 to $40, Brown Forman, similar to 1910. Okay, yeah, 1910 is about in that range, maybe a few bucks more. But that's definitely one that you want to have stocked on your shelf. Yeah, up by South Bend. Yeah, it's got to be like not too far off of like the 94, the expressway there. Because I know we stopped in back when we were way into craft beer, and Three Floyds was like a big deal then, which is interesting because I have noticed on, Coming Whiskey, if you guys follow his channels, Three Floyds is now doing whiskey, which is interesting. James, have you tried any of their whiskey? DMC is in the house. What's going on? Cheers, Tom, Eric, Randall, old-fashioned ways. What's going on, DMC? How you doing? Sipping on anything tonight? There you go. Go check out DMC. Good reviews, good content. Definitely want to have that subscription to his channel. Hit the notification bell so when he does post something, you get to see it. Not yet. Looking to try it. Yeah, I'm interested to see if it's any good. There's a couple of places here in Michigan that have kind of, made that transition from, craft beer into whiskey. New Holland's actually one of them. I mean, they were really, they still are, I think, one of the top 3 brewers here in Michigan. But I think a lot more of their business is now the whiskey. But there's a place called Griffin Claw that's local. And I picked up a couple of their whiskeys last year. I remember tasting them and thinking they were okay. But going back to them, they definitely taste like stout. Like I can't explain it, but it tastes familiar, and it's because I think of their beer when I drink it, and I don't know if that's fair or if that's just maybe a preconceived notion I have because that's my experience with that brand, or what. Sorry, I didn't get to answer. Holy my grandbaby. Yes, I am getting into Scotch and other world whiskey. All right. Well, Doc, always with the open mind and ready to try stuff. Good for you, man. And cheers to you and your grandbaby. Not a dark beer guy. Yeah, I mean, I'm not anymore. There was a time and a place when I was. But now if I have a beer, I just want something really light. Mm. 7 weeks old yesterday. Doc, is that your first grandbaby? I wish you were sharing it. Randall always with the zingers. I want to say Doc is about my age. He must have had kids a little sooner than I did. No, blessed with 4. Good for you, man. You have a big family, Doc? Look at this guy. I do change diapers, so no issues with that. Like I said, Doc he's one of those dudes that just always seems happy, always seems in a good mood. So God bless you, man. I'm 51. Yep, me too, man. So you are exactly my age. 1 son, 3 daughters. All right. Choose your family, Doc. I think in honor of Doc, I think I might have to get into the second of his picks. FOMO Bourbon 615. First time watching. Glad to join you guys tonight on my way home. Well, welcome to the channel here, FOMO Bourbon. Usually we'll have like a guest or something going on. This is more of a off the cuff, laid back type of stream. No real format here tonight. We're just kind of winging it. Opening some new bottles, hanging out, talking to some buddies. So glad to have you. 2 sons and 3 daughters, 3 grandsons so far. Wow, look at you guys. And a partridge in a pear tree. Now I got 2 kids. Tyler's 21 and my youngest is only 15. So hopefully it's a little bit yet before we're getting into grandbabies, but it's probably not too far off. K-Brock, another member of the 51 Club. How did we all end up here, man? Cheers, Kevin. I love that name, FOMO Bourbon. Yeah, that is a good name. Do you have a channel, FOMO Bourbon, or is that just your screen name? Oh, FOMO Follow You also has a channel. Eric, do you want to search that out and post a link for everybody to check out? And I got to admit, I'm not familiar with that one. 4 kids, 2 dogs, 10 reptiles. So you got a bit going on over there at the homestead, huh? Just subbed FOMO Bourbon. All right. Well, yeah, put the link up there, and I'll check that out as well. You know, kind of the theme of last week's stream was, you know, a lot of us know each other, and we all kind of watch the same channels all the time. So it was nice to discover a channel like those guys that we had on, Artfully Bourbon, and kind of makes you rethink, you know, what's going on out there. Because I you know, sure you heard me, you know, gushing over those guys, but they put out such good content, and the production is just off the charts. So it's nice to see some different channels, seeing what else is out there in the whiskey tube landscape, whiskey tube universe. Let's see, did somebody put the link up there? Love that. Okay. All right. Well, FOMO Bourbon, we'll have to all check you out. Yep, Artfully Bourbon does some great content. Yeah, and not just that, but they were fun to hang out with, and so I would definitely recommend checking those guys' content out. Check out their channel. Check out how they're doing things. I think they've got a real interesting approach, and just good dudes to hang out with. So hopefully we'll get to hang out with them a good you know, good bit in the future. Any other channels that are kind of under the radar that anyone's caught recently that maybe the rest of us aren't familiar with? All right, so my verdict on this walleye, the Fisherman's Batch. The extra layer of sweetness, I don't know that I like it more than some of the other offerings. I tend to like a little, maybe, I want to say I like sweet, but this is just almost maybe too sweet for me. You know, I like their you know, their 7-year malted, 8-year malted, whatever their age ranges are when they hit. But when you add a finish that's as sweet as this brandy, it's a bit too sweet for me, I think. So this is probably not my favorite of their range of their expressions. I would take a good single barrel at cask strength over this. Just a little too sweet. Maybe I'll come back to it and it won't hit me as sweet as this one is right now, but it's kind of where I'm at with it at this particular moment. I dig it. I don't dig it more than a lot of the other stuff in their core range. All right. A little old fashioned. Is that the name of a channel, or is that what you're drinking? Off topic whiskey. That's our buddy Randall. Is it fair to say that he's more of a podcaster, Doc, Randall? He's very technical, great guy. Definitely check out his content. All right, what does FOMO say? I've got quite a bit of stuff, so I'm getting ready to, okay. I am now leaving the KBF kickoff dinner. KBF is Kentucky Bourbon Fest? What is KBF? Am I missing something? Did a Green River take yesterday and Sazerac tour. Okay, so you're down there making the rounds. That sounds cool. Are you down there generally, or are you from somewhere else? Where are you based out of, FOMO? Bourbon Lover. I think I subscribed to his channel the other day. He's got a pretty big following. He's more of a like a hunt channel. Is that fair to say? Channel firefighter. Channel firefighter. The firefighter that I'm aware of is Bad Axe. Anyone named Randall is worth watching, in my opinion. Straight from the source. Tennessee also has books on Amazon. Chad Hart is his name. Okay. No, Randall does podcasts and but has reviews on all types and is now off-topic whiskey. Yeah, he's also got another YouTube channel that he does with a couple of other gentlemen, right? It's like three. Doc, what is it? Help me out. It's like 3 grains, and I'd have to check my feed. I know I've subscribed to it, but he's got another channel that he does or participates in with a couple of other buddies that and they get real technical. YouTube Bad Axe Bourbon. Yeah, that's Bobby. You know, he seems like a good dude. I mean, I don't like his stuff. I would I should probably reach out to him and see about having him on as a guest sometime. All right. FOMO says, haven't had the walleye. Saw it when I did a Magnus pick in Michigan. Yeah, you were right under the same roof, I think. FOMO, if you were there doing a Magnus pick. Try one of their offerings. Maybe not this one to start with. They do make a good, like a shelfer that's about a $50 bottle. It's about 105 proof, 7-year malted rye. Maybe it's even less than 105 proof now that I think about it. But it's got definitely got a unique profile that a lot of people seem to dig, especially if you like the Dragon's Milk Origin series. 3 guys, 1 grain. That's it. 3 guys, 1 grain. Why was I having such a hard time with that? That seems. Yeah, Bad Axe is super cool. The only thing that seems like it might be difficult is the time difference. I know he's out in California, and when I stream, I usually come on at 7:30, which would be like, he might not even be off work. Tom, you need to have Doc on the channel with the blind. That would be cool. You know, I think that's something that we should do as well. You know, I've known Doc a minute. And we've certainly exchanged samples, definitely, you know, as part of that Texas experiment. And he sent, you know, other things here and there. Yeah, I think we should do that, Doc. So if you're interested, let me know. I think we'd have a good time. Yeah, we can work that out for sure. Yeah, it seems like a no-brainer, right? When I think of Doc, you know, Doc and Carlos are the Star Wars contingent of Whiskey Tube. So I like how they do their tie-ins. Like Doc's, I don't know if you guys can see this on the camera. Can you see his logo? It's kind of like Darth Vader's helmet, but with Doc's beard, which I think is awesome. And then at some point, Doc, you had shown me a Glen design that either you were working on or maybe you even did it, but it was something along those lines, and I thought that was really cool. So may the pours be with you, my friend. There you go. It seems like you do them on all different days, or do you have a set time where you kind of do your main stream, Doc? Because it seems like you might even be on a couple of times a week that I see. FOMO Bourbon, you're based in Nashville. Another Tennessee guy. All right, I dig that. A lot of good stuff out of Tennessee. All right, so let's move some of these things aside here. Again, if you're interested in picking up something interesting, check out this pick from Doc, Calvados finished bourbon, and his link has all the information about prices. I want to say this one was pretty friendly, right? I think it was the cognac one that was a bit pricier, Doc, if I'm not mistaken, but the Calvados was a pretty decent price on it. There he is. JG, what's going on, bud? This is the link again. Yeah, feel free to spam it, Doc. I mean, you know, I think everybody should check it out and consider grabbing the, you know, again, there's not a whole lot of bourbons out there, or whiskeys, generally speaking, that are Calvados finish. So that's unique. The fact that it's you that you did the pick is unique. It is a good pour. I mean, it's bold, it's full bodied, it's got some oomph to it. It's definitely something that you can, you know, dig into, explore, and pick apart. There's a lot going on there. So $70, is that right? I mean, that's a great price point. You know, there's a lot of things out there that are, you know, 80, 90, 100 and plus, and you know, they don't always live up to it. This for that price point on that bottle, I will recommend that all day. All right, OFW, cheers. All right. Yes, Jay, how you doing, man? It seemed like you had a blast out there in the Dominican Republic, eh? Is it JG? Is the sunburn peeling? That's the question I think on everybody's mind, Jay. Yeah, that and what's it like flying down to the Dominican Republic at this point with you know, the state of things that, you know, TSA, how everything is, you know, in the news. Is it a pain in the ass, or is it just business as usual and everything that you see in the media is a little bit overblown? I'm curious. All right, so again, to celebrate our friend Doc and his picks, Doc's cognac, and again, I don't know a lot of the details on this one. Just is this a bourbon finished in cognac barrels, Doc? Is that what it is? If you want to put a little bit more of a descriptor there, that might be helpful in the chat. What did JG say here? No sunburn, just a glorious tan. Oh boy. No issues. Flying all was easy. Yeah, that's good to hear. Definitely. I haven't heard too many problems of people flying out of Detroit. Maybe it was like some of the bigger airports across the country. Like I know a buddy of mine out in Denver had a problem. But do you fly out of like what's the main city in Iowa? Is it like Des Moines or something? Do you fly it direct from Iowa, or is it you get connecting flights and you're in bigger airports, or is it just, you know, you fly out of Iowa, it's fine, and you fly back and it's fine? DSM is a small airport, nothing different. DSM. Okay, here we go. It's a wheated bourbon finished in cognac. Okay, all right. So color me interested. I don't think I've ever heard of anything like that. Cognac finishes are usually just straight bourbons, as far as I understand. Maybe not too many wheated. If I'm missing something or overlooking something, let me know. Sure. But a wheated bourbon finished in cognac. Is there an age statement on it, Doc? DSM to Dallas. Back was through Charlotte. Oh, it's kind of all over the place. Midwest to South to East. Okay. So what's the total flight time, I guess, start to finish from Iowa to the Dominican Republic? Sounds like it's a good bit then, yeah? All right. Cognac finished, wheated bourbon. Okay, so the nose is kind of subtle. There's not like anything unusual hopping out of the glass here. All right, what is Doc saying here? Master distiller Luca shared some great insight on this barrel. Soft wheated bourbon that is finished in a French oak cognac barrel from Vicard. Okay, I won't attempt to pronounce that. I should. I took French when I was in high school and college. I should be at least able to give that a stab, but Tonnelier, I don't know. I want to say Nancy Fraley was talking about this particular type of barrel the other night on Marty's stream. During the southern Louisiana summer heat of 4 months, which enhanced the soft, sweet wheated bourbon notes. This one has an old French elegant brandy finish. Okay, so brandy finish, kind of like this walleye that I just did, was really sweet. I'm wondering if this is going to be really sweet as well. From the nose, it doesn't strike me as something that's going to be overly sweet. You got to be kidding me. 5 to 6 hours total? Really not bad? Oh, shit. Good for you guys. Yeah, it looked like a beautiful setting where you were at. I mean, I see the pictures that you were sending to the group chats and whatnot. But wow, that's awesome, and congratulations on the milestone. That's a big number that you guys are putting up, man. So respect, JG. Cheers. A couple years ago, Southwest rerouted my trip to Hawaii. It's going from Nashville to Pittsburgh to Phoenix. Wow, you got to see the entire hemisphere. Nancy Fraley is their master blender at Whiskey Tree. Now that's something that I didn't know. Elaborate on that if you would. Yeah, it's definitely not overly sweet like the walleye. But now that you mention it, there is kind of a grapiness, a grapey quality to it. I wouldn't necessarily identify as cognac. It's definitely interesting. A whiff on the nose did kind of punch me in the forehead. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That was our 5th time to Dominican Republic. So what's your happy place? That's good to know, man. Yeah, she is at Whiskey Tree. It is 7-3 Distillery, and the Whiskey Tree is the name of their whiskey. Okay, so Whiskey Tree is like a brand. The name of the distillery is 7-3. I noticed that they've got like the, if you guys can see this at the bottom, looks like they've got like coordinates. I don't know. That's interesting. What's the significance of the 7 and the 3, Doc? I think Nancy blends for everybody, it seems. She's damn good at it too. She was kind of explaining why she kind of diversifies when she was on Marty's stream the other night. So it was definitely an interesting, perspective to get on why she kind of does what she does. I had no idea, Doc, that she had her hands at this particular brand. I hear Still Austin, I hear Magnus, I hear Wyoming whiskey, but this one I hadn't. I was not aware that she had her hands on that one as well. Did you have to show pizza at the bottom? I did not. This JG, this particular, when I opened this, I'm like, what's with the beads? It took me a minute to realize that the distillery is down in Louisiana, so it kind of Doc went with a Mardi Gras theme. So he dressed that up. No nudity or flashing was required. It was just Doc's good nature. The coordinates are for the actual whiskey tree. Okay, so there is a whiskey tree. All right. What does that mean? What is the tree has a great story. Okay, so it sounds interesting, if nothing else. Distillery is in New Orleans. Okay. Doesn't want to work salary for a distillery and risk getting laid out. Yeah, that was to kind of break it down to the lowest common denominator. Yeah. I get a feeling she likes traveling a bit in being part of different projects as well. But yeah, I think she had mentioned she had worked for a couple of places and had been laid off, and it really affected her perspective. Short version: the tree was dropping and picking up point. What? The tree was a dropping and picking up point. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. I get you. Interesting. So it's just like a random place. Okay. But it had significance. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, that's why a lot of us like whiskey, is these obscure stories that we would have no idea unless we really took a deep dive. So that's interesting, Doc. Oh, happy anniversary. Yeah. Did you see that, Tiff? They've been the Dominican 5 times. So it's one of their happy places. Definitely look nice. All right. I think I'm still partial, Doc, to the Calvados of the two. Also has a Disney role. It was the inspiration for Mama Odie Tree, Wishing Tree, and Princess Anne the Frog. So it sounds like you got the whole history lesson when you were down there, huh? All right. So Doc, help me out. How did you arrive at this particular brand to do your picks? I mean, obviously, you're down in Texas. It's not the furthest place in the world from Texas. It's not the closest either, though. How did you end up with this particular distillery down in Louisiana to do your first picks? You must have a very understanding wife that loves you. I think that's an understatement, right, Jay? I kid. I've had the pleasure of hanging out with Jay and his wife the last couple of years at the Bardstown event through the Mashing Journey, and we've had a great time hanging out with the two of them. There he is, off-topic whiskey. What's going on, Randall? We were talking about you earlier. I couldn't remember the name of the other channel that you participate in. 3 Guys, 1 Grain. I don't know why I was stuck on. I knew there was a 3 and a 1 component. I couldn't remember what the combination was, but Doc unlocked it for us. The whiskey tree, though, banger. If you okay, so Randall, I know is a buddy of Doc's as well, and he's down in Texas. So I'm assuming you've got a chance to try this one, Randall. Right now, I'm sipping on the cognac finish. I think I prefer the Calvados. There you go, Gunderson. Off-topic whiskey. Go check out Randall. Again, one of the more generous guys in whiskey too. Really supports a lot of channels and is just a good guy. So go check him out. See what he has to say. I'm lucky to call Nancy my friend. And my buddy Gnome is now one of their distillers. I got to try it a few times and loved it. So I wanted to share it with others. That is really cool because I had never heard of this brand. I don't think I've ever seen anybody that anybody whose channel or group that I participate in do a pick from Whiskey Tree. So I think the logic there is sound, Doc. I want people to get a chance to try this, and I'll be that conduit for people to give it a shot. So good for you. It's really good whiskey too. Yes, sir. Got both of them. Very good. Support Doc. Support our buddy, right, Randall? All right. I lean more cognac. I like the cognac, don't get me wrong, but I just think this is maybe more something that piques my interest. There's a lot to unpack. I like the Calvados. Gnome has a YouTube channel. Gnome Tavern. He does cocktails. All right. If you got a link, post it. I've not heard of that one either. I don't watch too many channels that do the cocktails. I'll watch if it's one of us that is doing a cocktail instead of a bottle review or a whiskey review or a blind or something, but it doesn't seem to come up too frequently. It's funny when Nancy calls you on your cell phone. Drop everything and talk to her. She's an incredibly special lady. She is, it was really cool to watch and listen to her on Marty's stream the other night. I know that a lot of us whiskey nerds are, whenever Nancy's in a chat or on a channel, we're all, dialed in and listening to everything that she has to say. And yeah, she's got a lot she's got some really interesting perspectives that just are things that I would not have even thought about. So yeah, just listening to her talk about whiskey and spirits in general is always interesting. Here's Randall's review. Okay, so Randall did some reviews. Check those out. Reason going to Gatlinburg. Son's 35th birthday, and Thursday is our 43rd anniversary. Well, cheers to you, James. That is a giant number. Good for you guys. Yeah, my wife and I will be at 24 in a couple of months. 43. Wow, that is spectacular. Cheers to you, man. All right, look at Doc using my government name. Randall, I think I'm always going to identify you as the shaman. Even though I know the shaman is gone, but sort of lives on. Yeah. So yeah, it's really interesting to have people like that in the community to kind of educate us all and explain how she does things that we all get to enjoy. So yeah, whenever she's on a stream or in a chat, it's really cool. I want to say we've had her on. She's never been a guest, but I know that she's been in chat on a couple of our streams. I want to say she follows Carlos. So when I've had Carlos on as a guest, she's been in the chat. Carlos, Whiskey Corner, if you guys aren't familiar, good friend of the channel and another great a great corner of Whiskey Tube, pun intended. All right. So what is pinch artist? Do I want to know that, or is that some private joke? I don't know. But I did see, I don't know if it was an Instagram reel or something that you posted where, the two of you guys finally got to meet, which how you haven't met after this point and you're both down in Texas is a surprise to me. So it was definitely cool to see you guys finally get to meet. Having known the two of you for a couple of years now. It's a Spanish thing. Okay, wow. All right. Texas is, yeah. So I'm sure, Randall, that's lost on me to an extent. I mean, I could look at a map, but I've never been to Texas. And I guess as far as the scope or scale of the state goes, yeah, it could almost just be the difference between being in like Michigan versus like Iowa, just given the sheer size of the entire state. So I guess I never stopped to think about that. 4 hours away. Yeah, it's okay. So you can drive for 4 hours and still be in the state. We shall do a pick together. I know we talked about that at some point, Doc, when we were doing that Texas thing. That would be real fun. If we could figure that out, that would be certainly something that would interest me. You could drive 12 hours and still be in the state. Is that right? Interviewing people is what I want to concentrate. Jim Rutledge. So like when you do streams, FOMO. Yeah, I think the more interesting streams that I've done have been when I've had a guest, whether it be another whiskey tube channel or a distiller or somebody involved with the distillery. Last year we had on the guy from Detroit City Distillery. That was a fun stream. We had Brandon on from Evernorth, which was really fun. I think aside from that, guests that I've had have been pretty much other whiskey tube channels or content creators. The Bourbon Jerks, time for you to come to the city is still Austin. Are you down there too, Miracle Martinez? I've got some friends that are here local that tell me that Austin is just amazing, and we've got to get down there. I don't know, maybe get Nancy to be there for still. Now that would be something. Yeah, and Randall, the Nancy's pick that I've had is actually the one that won our Texas whiskey competition back a couple of years ago. If Doc and Randall remember. Look at this guy. Cheers, Tom. Cheers, everyone in chat. We were just talking about you, Carlos. I don't know if your ears were ringing or not. How you doing, man? It's been a minute. One of my favorite whiskey tube channels, Whiskey Corner. And now that, I'm thinking about it, I mentioned this about Doc, just one of those guys that always seems happy and in a good mood and is always uplifting. Carlos is another one of those guys. He just has a way about him that it just really, it's uplifting somehow, I guess, if that makes any sense. There you go. Put his link up there. Go follow Carlos. Watch his content. Just a great guy. Eric Gunderson, you man. Yeah, Eric Gunderson. Cheers to you, man. Thanks for being here and putting everybody's links up there as we talk about them. That way we can all click on them, follow up with them, and kind of get to know them all a little bit. Like people that we're not generally familiar with, like FOMO Bourbon. Let's check him out. Doing good, brother. Hope all is well. Yeah, we're doing good, man. It's good to see you. If you're sipping, let us know what you're sipping on. I think I've got a link at the top if you feel like hopping on for a minute, Carlos. If not, that's fine too. Thanks, Eric. All right. So Definitely prefer the Calvados over the cognac. I dig the cognac. I like the Calvados a bit more though. But if you're inclined, Doc's posted the links to these picks. Definitely try this one, man. That's for $70. That's a bargain. I don't know what the price tag on the cognac finish is. These might be a little bit more scary. I don't know if he had quite as many as the cognac as the Calvados. Am I wrong, Doc? But yeah, the Calvados is one you might want to pick up. Thanks for trying both and appreciate the honest opinion. Yeah, absolutely, Doc. And you know, I like what we did here. I sent you one of ours, and I'm like, you know what? I know you've got one coming out soon. Just, you know, when you get to it, just send me one back. And so when this finally arrived, I was excited to give it a shot. And yeah, I definitely dig it for sure. I plan to do a Discord meet next Wednesday, and everyone pop wide open and give thoughts. I don't know if am I in your Discord? I know I'm in your Patreon group. I don't know if I've seen your Discord. All right, so cognac is 103. Okay, so the cognac gets a little pricier, and I have some of both still. Okay, all right. If you like cognac finishes, I don't think you'll be disappointed. I think this one does skew a little bit more grapey. But yeah, I think the Calvados is where it's at for me. I'll send you a Discord link. I'll be honest, Doc, I don't I have a Discord channel myself that I just started, I don't know, a month ago or so. I see all of the channel logos on my Discord. I don't see that I've got yours. So yeah, send me a link. I'll get on there. I'm actually in our drinking buddies Discord, if you're in that. But yeah, send me a Discord link and I will get in there. I'll do the same to you. I'm trying to get a little bit more involved in some of these more technical things that I really haven't done since I started the channel. Trying to kind of get to the point where I can do these things and run a channel without having to, you know, bother Tyler too much because he's got a lot going on. So I've kind of got to the point where I've started doing the thumbnails and setting up some of the more technical stuff, but I haven't figured out how to do videos yet. So we'll kind of struggle through that, I think. Stay tuned. We'll see. Cognac is really good, but I love that Calvados. Yeah, I'm definitely with you, Carlos. That I think the Calvados one is special. I didn't get the whiskey tree because I had like 10 bottles showing up. Yeah, Randall, I'll tell you what, I will be happy to send you a sample of the Calvados. I've only got just a teeny bit of the cognac and it's already open here, but I will be happy to send you a good sized sample of the Calvados for you to give a shot. Give that a try. I keep hearing you say Doc. In my head, I keep replaying Back to the Future. What? Doc Martinez. What's the future clips? Oh, Back to the. How am I missing it? Okay, Back to the Future clips. Okay, so it's not Doc Brown. It's Doc Martinez. But okay, I appreciate the reference now that I got it. A little bit slow on the uptake here. Hit me up. I'll send you a sample. There you go. Emmett Brown. Dr. Brown. I don't know. The cognac one's kind of growing on me a little bit here, but it's nice. Is there anything you're looking for? Let me know. Yeah, Doc gets his hands on a lot of bottles from the looks of his channel there. Am I right? Like I think I've seen videos where he's opening like 15 bottles at once. I am blessed. I do get lots of bottles. Are things easier to find in Texas, or do you hunt a lot, or what's your strategy here, Doc? Do you get out and search, or are you just finding things online? I guess I'm curious because I know you're busy too. Oh, geez, he's got a form for samples. Randall, while we're talking about samples, I've got the you did a, I want to say there was a blend that you did here. Yeah. Okay, this is the Randall the Express Infinity Blend. What I thought would be fun, Randall, is I've also got this from Marty recently, which is the whiskey nose blend. So I thought maybe at some point I do Randall versus Marty. Can you imagine the white hot action that would entail? Doing more listening than watching. All right. Well, hey, you know what? Drive safe, man. All right. So I'm all over the place. Relationships, the whiskey community, whiskey groups, online auctions, and luck. Because no, we don't get much down here in the butthole of Texas. Okay, I've never done an auction. Relationships, people. I think I mentioned this on a recent stream. I mean, there's so many stores down here by me that I stop in at that I don't really stop in at one so frequently that they know me. And when I go in to any of these stores, I really just want to focus on what I'm there for and then get out. I don't spend time talking to people at the stores, so I'm sure that's on me. But as far as other relationships, I mean, yeah, there's other people that I've met through my channel and through other channels that have really, helped me get things that I can't get. Like Toby and Roger that were on earlier, they've been really great, helping me get things that I can't get here in Michigan. I have 4 stores that I hit up weekly. Okay, so on a weekly basis, I don't really go to anywhere. There was, I mean, I would say the store that I go to the most, that does like the most picks, is one of these stores that's on my way home. And then they recently posted that they got the Elijah Craig 15. So like within an hour of them posting, I was when I was headed home. So I stopped there on the way home and they didn't have any out. I'm like, you got the Elijah Craig 15. And it was one of those deals where like the one shop owner or the one guy working there looks at the other one and he's like, do we have any of that left? And it was like, dude, it's a fucking hour ago. I know you got some left. I was like, he looked at the other guy and then the guy's like, no, we don't. So I kind of felt like, they were holding it for somebody that had, better relationship with them. So as soon as I saw that, that look that they kind of gave each other, I was like, fuck this. I walked right out. I'm not going to stop there anymore because I felt like they had what I was looking for. They just didn't want to sell it to me. So whatever. So the next day, one of the other local places posted it and I went there and it's no bullshit. So whatever. That's exactly why I don't have any good relationships, because all of these store owners around here are kind of assholes. I got a Jack 12 today because of relationships. Yeah, again, the relationships that I have aren't with any of the local store owners. They're with other people like us. West Texas or RGV, right? I don't know what RGV is. How was that Jack on top of my list? You know, the Jack 12, the first, like batch 1, I loved that. But then the next year, I don't think I liked it nearly as much. Yeah, Carlos, I hate when stores do that crap. Yeah, dude, it was like so like obvious because I was there within an hour. It's not that popular of a place. And it's like the one guy looked at the others like, no, we don't have it. Bullshit. And they probably had more than one too. It's just like they just didn't want to sell it to me. So, whatever. West Texas is our bet. Okay. RGV is Rio Grande Valley. Okay, so I'm learning. I had no idea what that meant. How was that Jack? It's not on my list. I don't know. Have you tried the Jack 14? To me, that's still like the king of the hill as far as Jack goes. I heard this year the Jack. Actually, you know what? I think the Jack reviews I've seen are still from last year. So anybody that's posted this year's Jack reviews, I haven't watched it yet. So what's the word? Is it the 10, the 12, or the 14 year this year? 956. Okay. Saving for friends. Have that a lot around it. Well, you know what? That's fine. But if you're going to save it for your buddies, don't post it on the internet. And then I'm there in less than an hour. And you're telling me that, oh, no, we don't have it. Just don't do that. Don't be that guy. Now you're that guy, and I'll just spend money somewhere else. Jack 14 is amazing. Did a review for sure. Is it this year's doc or is it last year's? Last year's I thought was amazing. It was one of my top, I know it was one of my top 10, probably one of my top 3. I had to really pin it down. I loved that Jack 14 year, batch 1. I was hoping that the Elijah Craig 15 this year would be on that level. I don't think it is. It's good, but it's not that. I was down at the beginning of the year, crickets compared to the other. Did score a Weller 107. You know what's interesting is, yeah, Weller 107. So I'm in Michigan. So a local shop today posts up, they just got 107. They posted it up on their site. I think it was 109, $109. I think MSRP is what, 59? So like the comments were just flaming the store. But I'm sure they sold out. Like 107 here is like a friggin' unicorn. And at some point last year, I was complaining about it, and Roger just sent me a bottle. He's just like, dude, here you go. He's in Ohio, where apparently you can get it pretty much anywhere for MSRP. All right. BTAC dropped at our grocery liquor stores today, and many store employees are holding them for themselves. All right. You know, I know that happens here too. I've just reserved myself to the fact that I'm not going to get that stuff. Carlos, if I want a BTAC, I'm going to have to pay secondary, which I don't. But what I have done is had pours of, GTS or Handy, particularly at local bars. Yeah, they're pricey. It's not nearly as pricey as buying a bottle, but at least I'll get to try it and form an opinion. I do think that the GTS stuff that I've tried has been exceptional, and I could get the hoopla. But yeah, you got to be in good with one particular place, and I'm just not that guy. Yes, this year's, and then video comparing last year's is this year's with my daughter. Those are fun. Does she help you out with the editing and stuff, or does she just come on and hang out with you, Doc? 10, 12, 14, not around me in Indiana. Yeah, these are hard to find here in Michigan. 107 and here is 79. Okay, so 79 is not terrible. Isn't MSRP about $60? 70, maybe it's 69 if it's gone up. I want to say it's about a $60 bottle. And you know what? I used to hate on that bottle probably because it was so over hyped and overpriced here. But the ones that I've got recently, I mean, I picked it in a blind as a winner. It's a good bottle. Don't get me wrong. I have to because of help. I've never seen it on the shelf. Okay. Hey, you know what, Randall? So is that Reveries that you're talking about? No, Reveries is high aged MGP, right? I know I've got a 9-year Reveries pick from 21090, and I think it's just like a honey barrel, like a nice 9-year MGP. If you like that stuff, don't sleep on the M&J picks tomorrow, the Traverse City stuff. I think it's a 10-year bourbon and an 11-year rye. They were fantastic. Prices similar to what they were charging for the Reverie stuff. So allocated here, got lucky. Yeah, I got an E.H. Taylor barrel proof recently. Not here, a buddy out of state. It seems to be a little bit more prevalent, easier to get recently than it has been in years past. No help with editing. Well, you know what? She still gets to hang out with you, and that's what makes it fun. I mean, I know it's fun when I've got, you know, Tyler on with me on a stream or on a video. So, you know, don't take those for granted. She won't always be, you know, wanting to hang out with you guys and do your whiskey stuff. So savor that, man. 107 drop here today as well. 79 out the door. Is that MSRP, Carlos? Top Jimmy is top. Yeah, Top Jimmy is. I can't say enough good things about that guy. Toby is just. He's a great supporter of the channel. He's become a great friend, and really just. It's like a glue guy, I guess, if that makes sense. He brings a lot of people together and holds them together. Haven't bought a 107 in like 3 years. Gotta enjoy family. Yeah, that's what it's all about, right? If she can, you know, enjoy hanging out with you on one of your videos, you know, enjoying doing the things that you do, then more power to you, right? There you go. Yeah, if you guys don't know how to get in touch with each other, let me know. I can facilitate. Oldest son, yeah, you know what, James, you did mention that it was your son that actually got you into whiskey, which I think was fascinating. You know, I didn't really get into whiskey until I was probably 40. My dad is not into whiskey at all. My dad actually got into tequila when he was probably like 70. So when I go to my dad's, he'll have his little, you know, sipper of tequila, and you know, we get him bottles for his birthday and Father's Day and what have you, and he likes to sip tequila. He didn't until he was 70. So I mean, people's palates change. Things that you get open up to and exposed to. Maybe the thing that you like the most, you won't even know for 10 years. Who knows? It's interesting. Maybe you can grab one. I think you're better off trying to make friends with somebody in Ohio, Doc. 64 started. Yeah. My dad might have been late 60s before he got into tequila, but he's always been a cigar guy as long as I can remember. So been into that, but I've never gotten into the cigars. I know a lot of the whiskey people are into cigars. I'm just not. My old man is, I mean, he's got a million of them, and then he's into tequila, which there's some that I like, but for the most part, it's just not for me. What is his? Okay, what's his tequila that he likes? It's whatever me or my brothers buy him for Father's Day or Christmas. He likes what's the one that is like the Rock? Like Terramana or something? Like a Terramana Resposado was what it kind of got. That was like his gateway. So we would kind of get him, those here and there. But, knowing that he liked that, I think we've all kind of each gravitated towards something better, like, a Don Julio this, or I can't think of the brands off the top of my head, but I'll go and hunt, not hunt, but like I'll go spend a good bit of time walking up and down the aisles at like Total Wine, trying to pick out things that are, I'll have my phone out and kind of look at reviews and stuff like that. But to be honest, what does he like? He likes whatever his sons will buy him, because he knows that we'll spend the money for him and get him the good stuff. MSRP on 107 is around 50, 60. Yeah, I want to say it was about $60. Fortaleza. Now, Fortaleza is one of the, okay, so I know enough to know that Fortaleza is hard to come by. I did buy my dad a Cascanes at some point, which I actually, tried with him, and I thought it was fantastic. I don't remember which one. I think it might have just been like a Blanco Cascanes, but that was amazing. I also remember at some point buying him one that was Avion. That one was really good too. I'm not a tequila guy, but there are a few. Yeah, I mean, it's a whole nother rabbit hole that you can really go down, Doc. And let's face it. I mean, do we really need that? I mean, we're already so far down this rabbit hole. Tequila Ocho, yeah. I want to say that's one that I've purchased for him at some point. They've got a lot of different expressions. Panelones is another one that I've purchased for him. I didn't know when I purchased that it was the Matthew McConaughey brand. I think I got him not the Añejo, but the Reposado. Doc. Okay, now here's a guy who sounds like he knows what he's talking about. All right. Miracle Martinez, G4. Okay, so I saw G4 from our Bourbon Junkies video. Sete Ling. Okay, not heard of that one. Not heard of that one. Tears of La Lorna. Not heard of that one. Okay, Tequila Ocho I have. Fortaleza I have. All right, so Miracle Martinez, where does Cascanes fit into that equation? Are they on that level? Okay. I did a live with Ernest Peacock about tequilas, and he opened my eyes to tequila. I actually reached out to Oak and Agave to see if they might be interested in doing like a crossover, but I don't think I ever heard back from them. Speaking of rabbit holes, anybody tried Derringer? No, I have not. The only rabbit hole I've tried is like High Gold or something like that. Like, I think it's one of their flagships. I can't remember exactly what it was called. I think it was High Gold, Heigold, gold. It's decent. $300. Okay. Yeah, I think the most expensive one I bought him was is it like Clase Azul? It comes in like that. It almost looks like a vase. Am I saying it right? It's like Clase Azul or Clase Azul. It looks like a vase. Like the top of it is like a orb. It's really strange looking. Tears is like the pappy of the tequila world. Okay. All right. Okay. Casa Azul is not good. But again, I got one from my dad. He really liked it, or at least he humored me, but it was gone pretty quickly. So I'll tell you that. Yeah, it was like a hand-painted shit. Looked like a vase. The top is actually a bell you can ring. Oh, that's on the The Tears of La Lorna? Tears of La Llorona. Am I saying that right? I've not heard of that until tonight. It's a pretty bottle, but tequila is not good in my opinion. You know, I think I've heard that since then. Like it's more like the presentation is better than the actual juice. But you know, he liked it. I don't know that I even tried it, to be honest with you. I think he finished that bottle without, you know, in between visits. So he liked it. No, it's on the Azul bottle. Oh, I know there's some different ones. I think I got him like the main one. It was like mostly white with like some blue. Ricardo Carroll, how you doing, Ricardo? Casa Azul tequila. That's the one. I like the Tears of La Lorna, just pricey. I had no idea that they made a tequila that was $300. Fortaleza is good. Yeah, Doc. I want to say the most expensive one I saw was the Cascanes, and it was like about $180. But I do know that they've got like some of those Casa Azules that are like black or green or like just off the wall colors that I'm assuming are more limited, that were like $400, $500, $600. I think it's more the bottle than the whiskey, right? Okay. If you can get that Lorna, okay. My old man would have a stroke if he knew I bought him a $300 bottle of tequila. I think he had a hard enough time with the Casa Azul that I bought him. He's like, well, he told me he looked it up, and he's like, what's this? Whatever, just drink it, Dad. But if it was like $300, I think he'd have a stroke. Dad's a blue collar guy. Like anything else, some are better than others. Yeah, I mean everything's relative, right, Ricardo? You can get into this. Okay, so they'll run up to $3 or $4 grand. All right, so there you go. I mean, you can get bonkers with that kind of stuff, just like you can with bourbon, obviously. I had no idea. What makes it worth that? Is it just the batch size, or is it like ultra aged or something? Because even the highest aged tequila that I've seen isn't really more than like a year or two, right? I don't know. But again, I don't pretend to know a whole lot about it. All right, so I'll do one last pour, I think. I'm going to try the Silver Springs Sweet Rye. This is the M&J pick. So if you were fortunate enough to get one of these, let me know what you think about it. I've had shelf versions of the Silver Springs. I think it's a fantastic bottle, even more so given its price. So I'm interested to see what these guys picked and how it might stack up against the Schaffer. All right, Carlos says the Tears of the Lord. Okay, $375. Yeah, $170 for half a bottle. Yeah, that's pricey, right? Yeah, I think when I buy these bottles for my dad, he tends to like the Reposados, and there's a lot of good ones out there for less than $100. Like I want to say like 60, 70, 80. There's no shortage of options out there. So, and again, he's not very discriminating. He watches my channel every now and again. Cheers, Thomas Senior, if you're watching. He'll watch my channel. He calls a live stream a broadcast. So he'll say, "I caught your broadcast the other night," which I think is amusing. I don't know why it's not broadcast versus a live stream, but anyway, and he'll be amused by notes I say or what I say something tastes like, and tell me that I'm full of shit, which is half true. I mean, he knows me, obviously. He says that if I get him a good bottle, he'll say it's good, and I like it. If it's not great, he'll say it's not that great. But he's not getting into, caramels and toffees and leathers and oak and baking spices, stuff like that. He thinks that's all a crock of shit, which is fine. He just says it's good or it's not. So he's plenty happy with all kinds of options under, Jesus, what are we talking about? $170. No, he's there's a lot that he can get into for under that. Tequilas will be affected by price depending on where they get their barrels, the type of agave. Okay, so I had no idea, FOMO, to be honest with you, but that certainly makes some sense. How many of us look up a bottle we are gifted that we don't know about? That's a good point. I want to say most of the stuff that I will get, I have an idea what it is, like other channels have reviewed it, or at least I've seen it at stores or on review sites or what have you. But there was one in particular that I can think of that I had no idea what it was, so I looked it up, and it was something really obscure and way more expensive than I thought it was. And I was like, what the heck is this? I would send you a sample. I gave it to my mother-in-law. Doc, mother-in-law, good for you. Keeping everybody happy. You have to love the old school. Yeah, straight to the point. Yeah, exactly, Ricardo. My dad's a no-nonsense guy. So he's just like, it's good, it's not good. I don't know what all this bullshit you're talking about baking spices and caramel. Tastes like whiskey? I don't know. Okay. Oh. Yeah, these are good. These Silver Springs. Ooh. It's just like sweet, but not over sweet. It's syrupy. It's got a little bit of that expressed orange, like maybe just a touch of mint, chocolate. These are just so good. Yeah, just really any one of these that you can get your hands on is worth grabbing. All right, here's Miracle chiming in here. Decent price and tasty tequilas. La Gritona. Okay, Tres Agaves I've heard of. Made at the same place as Cascades. Okay. I think Tres Agaves makes mixers that we used to buy. Walter Cronkite and the Bourbon channels. Not quite sure what that means, but what was the expression, Randall? Quite polite, like Walter Cronkite? I don't know. Something like that. Maybe it was a rap lyric. I'm not sure which. One or the other. All right, guys. Well, we're closing in on 10 o'clock. I'm probably going to sip this and then probably call it an evening. How about you guys? I did try a few of those live. Okay, so Mirko Martinez sounds like the guy to reach out to if you are interested in trying some top shelf tequilas. I was gifted my first bottle of bourbon that got me into this crazy game. Had no idea what it was. Turns out it was GTS 2018. Wow, where do you go from there? FOMO? That's like starting at the end. Like, every That's insane. James Cole, thanks everyone. Be safe and enjoy your pours. Hey, James, thanks for hanging out with us this evening. Good talking to you and getting to know you a little bit. Hope you enjoy your visit. So cheers to you. Yeah, I don't remember who it was, but somebody in one of the chats and one of the live streams this past week said that the mash and journey pig was okay. That's pretty friggin' good. Yeah, I wouldn't say there's really anything okay about it. These are just next level. And then again, when you factor in the cost, it doesn't even make sense. Yeah, it's just dense, rich, huge finish, linkers. Just a real pleasant aftertaste. No, this is where it's at. Well, Randall, I'll be honest. I thought those guys might wrap up with Scott and hang out for a bit, but I don't know. Maybe that's taking a while. I guess we're not going to find out. But no shit. I honestly thought that they were heading down to to Tennessee to do that thing. I should pay closer attention. What are you gonna do? This is the time I have available, so this is when I'll stream. People are around to hang out. Cool. If not, maybe we'll see you next week. I don't know. Got a few guests I've been talking to about possibly coming on in the near future, so I'll keep you posted on that on the Patreon, what have you. Yeah. Last year when we did the games, was that enjoyable enough that we should try again this year? Maybe open it up to people aside from those who had channels and stuff. If you recall, last year we did that jerk game, and it was mostly just other channels that participated. And if you remember, it was Andy from 21090 that ended up winning. That was kind of fun. Maybe I'll do something along those lines again, just to kind of keep things interesting. And I think it gives you an excuse to get some of your friends back on and do something, and have a focus other than just shooting the shit. Maybe have some sort of an objective. Oh boy. Momo Bourbon says, that's why I have 900 bottles still chasing that euphoria high. I do not have nearly that, my friend. I am probably about a third of that, which is still way more than any normal human should have. But this is the hobby that we've chosen. So it's only gone up from there. But 900, that is impressive. And it's not just that that's a high number. It's just I can only fathom the shelving and the storage logistics that you must have in place to deal with that. So that, I don't know if you have a video on your channel that kind of shows everyone the how you've got that many bottles stored, but I'd be interested to check that out. All right, so I just did a quick short pour of this Silver Springs. It's fantastic. It's similar in profile to any of the other Silver Springs that I've tried. It's like sticky. It's just a great pour. And that's probably where I'm going to end things tonight. So cheers to all you guys that hung out and shot the shit a little bit. Doc, Carlos, FOMO Bourbon, James Cole, Randall the Express, holding our country up. Ricardo Carroll, thanks for stopping by. Everybody that stopped in said, hey, until next time, cheers. Thanks for watching. Stay jerky.